There we go. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for joining our meeting. It's September 4th, 2020, 6:05. It is about 2 weeks or so, 3 weeks or so after our annual meeting, which went excellently. Thank you so much for everybody that came out. It was a great time. I think we had over 40, 44 people or something like that, or over 40 for sure. Um, and it was a great turnout, definitely way more than I expected, and it was so wonderful to see everybody in person again. So, or for the first time for a lot of people. So that was
Yeah.
good. I'm not just a nameless person on a screen or a person on a screen anymore, but it was a great time. I had an excellent time. I think we had some good progress on a lot of stuff, and I'm excited for the many more annual meetings to come in the years. So that's what we're here for. That's what we're doing. So it's exciting to see. We just a quick treasurer's report. I think I think Justin is occupied at the moment, but we have over about like almost.
I'm here, Nick, if you want me to give a
yeah.
little update.
Yeah, of course.
Sorry, that light's right there.
No worries.
Yeah, so we were really fortunate at the meeting that we had at the house. We had 2 individual donations of $100. We also had a 50-50 drawing that the total was $209. The winner of that, Cassandra Quintil, graciously donated her winnings back to us for a total of $209. So with all the donations we've received so far this spring and summer and the 50-50 raffle, we have a little over $1,500 in our checking account at Sabattus Regional Credit Union.
Beautiful.
Phenomenal. Yeah, no, it's very exciting to hear. And thank you everyone who has donated so far and who has donated their time and their energy to doing these things. I mean, if we were to count up all the in-kind donations too, we would have an even bigger number. So a lot of stuff went into the behind the scenes work to really get this, organization up and running and going. A lot of time, a lot of efforts, and some money too from some of our very dedicated members. So I just want a big shout out to all and everyone who helped so far and who donated so far and who watches these videos. It's just been excellent to see. So
How'd the lemonade stand go?
Huh?
How did the lemonade stand go?
Yeah. I'm not sure. Yeah. I know we had it there.
Yeah, that was one.
$10.25 in quarters.
Beautiful.
That is wonderful.
She was very excited when she got home. We made her do math.
That's excellent. Yeah. 2 things coming up. I did sign up for 2 webinar events, both this month. One is with the state of Maine and it is with the Maine DEP. They're hosting an hour-and-a-half seminar about alum treatments in Maine. And I don't know if any of you have seen an article recently, but the state has actually funded about $200,000 for alum treatments across the state. I know that does sound like a lot, and it's certainly not a little. But just to put that into perspective, priced out for a pond our size and our depth is about $1 million. And that's a fund that's supposed to be shared, I think, by multiple areas. So certainly nothing to shake a stick at. It's a great start. And I'll see where that opportunity goes. And just to keep in mind, we also don't know if an alum treatment is the best course of action for us. It is definitely there in the top running. But until we actually get that watershed plan built and we see the results of it, which is the culmination of the 604B grant, that first grant step process that builds the plan, and then the next grant process, which is called the 319, then enacts the plan. Until we know what the best steps are, it certainly is an option, but we don't know if it's the best option. So I just want to preface that. But yeah.
Well, regarding that, I think that the Togus price tag was $1 million, and that pet pond is half the size of ours.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
so 200,000 is,
yeah,
I don't know, it's like sprinkles on a cake.
And to be clear, that was from the article. It started out a very high number, and then as it worked its way through the political process, it ended up at 200,000, right?
I believe so, from what I remember. Yeah.
Times 2.
What?
Times 2.
That's per session. They have to do 2 sessions.
Oh, okay, so 400,000 total. Is that what it says? Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, still a big lump sum of money. Nothing to not shake a stick at, but also to put it in perspective, if that's used for the whole state, that's a half a pond, worth of correction.
It's window dressing.
It is. I think I definitely think it's a good start considering they didn't have anything before. So maybe some noise that we've been making has been pretty good. Yeah, and that's only to treat 5 meters worth of depth. Is that what you said, Justin? Yeah.
Yeah, Gregory said they didn't treat anything under 5 meters of depth, so that doesn't include a lot of our lake for the depth. So I'm sure it's the whole science behind it of the depth and where to do it and that sort of thing. But with a shallower lake with a greater area, I don't know if it's a push. So
yeah, no, all great things to consider. That's why it's important that we look at this information and when our partner organization that we pick, which most likely will probably be the Androscoggin Valley Soil. Donna, I mess this up every time. Yeah.
ASVAWC. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's got the words conservation in there
and soil in there.
yeah.
But they were the ones that were interested in potentially being our quasi-municipal organization that, received the grant funding from the state, because that has to be the thing. It has to be municipal or quasi-municipal to receive that type of funding. And then they would essentially then partner with us. So that's just something we'll have to discuss and see going forward. Like I said, definitely not out of the running. It's definitely a top running. My main concerns of everything that I've learned is just that the recycling rate of the water in the pond is a big concern, which is usually turns over every year or so, from my understanding, or a year and a half. And that has a big thing to do with like how much alum treatments stick. So a recycling rate of say 10 years, certainly worth it. A recycling rate of 1 year, I mean, for $1 million or more potentially, who's to say? That's a decision that eventually we'll have to make or something like that. So
Nick,
yeah.
Did you receive that that company that I sent you? I sent you a text message that treatment. They have some type of treatment to get rid of the algae.
I did. I did not get a chance to look into it, but I did get your text. So I certainly will. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, actually, did you texted it to me, right?
I think I did.
I don't see it in text. Maybe you emailed. Let me check real quick.
I don't use emails. I'm sure it was a text.
Oh, okay. I just went back a ways, but
Let me see if I don't know if I dare to do it.
oh yes, I do have it right here. John Winbrand Spin or
Yeah.
Jan Win. Yeah. Yes, I do see that. Oh, hey, it's in Pittsburgh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I looked up their website and they treat anything from a small pond to huge lakes.
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly an option. Yeah. Certainly something to look into. Yeah, I'll make a note of that right now because that's actually a good thing to do. Awesome. Yeah, and anybody watching online, you see something and you're curious about anything, if that would work, if it wouldn't, please don't hesitate to reach out. I mean, that's kind of what I like to think that we're doing here, just creating like a central location to share ideas, talk about ideas, share information, collect information, and that's just how things get done. And Kim, you said, what about dredging? I'm glad you raised that point. It's something that is, has been suggested quite a bit, over the last year or so, at least that I've been around. I think it's been suggested as alternatives too in other areas. I understand that there's some want or some enthusiasm to try to do something while the lake is lowered, to try to like maybe potentially dredge that shoreline as it's exposed. I would just, I love the enthusiasm and the passion for the people trying to get involved and try to take or thinking about, taking good advantage of a situation that may be an inconvenience and trying to turn it into like a positive thing. I just wouldn't advise doing anything yet until we actually have a watershed plan in place, until we know what to do per se. But yeah.
I thought that there was a local company, or I thought I had heard that they actually will bring in, because they want the phosphorus, they want that to do their own stuff, so that they'd come in with their boat and actually dredge.
So
That-
I've heard that too, and I think that Shaw Brothers is what was mentioned a couple times or something like that. And to that, I just say, like, we don't know how deep the phosphorus is. We don't know how deep it goes. What if, there are a lot of different things that could potentially happen or that it could impact. And that's why I'm just saying, let's just not make a decision to like do something like that until we know what we exactly need to do or should do. And I think that's just smart with anything. I mean, dredging could be the option that we do. And it could be an option that is the best option for the, choices that we have. But until we know that that is the case, or until we have with the best amount of evidence that that is the case, I would just advise, like, we don't do anything that could potentially make the situation worse, because if we don't know the exact depth of the areas that they're dredging, they could be exposing layers of phosphorus soil that is potentially even more intense because it was laid years ago while farming was more intense. So,
Nick,
yeah.
I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
I would think it would be a good idea, and just looking this at a multi-pronged approach, to invite those that are interested in that option to make a subcommittee, say, I can name names, but a few people that are interested in that, to just possibly have a subcommittee made to look at that option.
Yeah, I mean that people can certainly do
Yeah.
that if they want to try to explore that as an option. I mean, I
But no, I'm
definitely,
thinking inside of the association. Just
yeah, inside of the
as a
association.
subcommittee, just there is an interest in it, and I
Yeah.
think we have to look at all options.
I just burn them with.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a possibility to talk with Pete Rich and with Susie Galani, and have them form a subcommittee just to look into what that might entail.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
certainly not opposed to
Good
that.
idea.
Yeah. So, if does anybody have Pete Rich's? I think I have his actual email, so I can definitely reach out to him if he's interested in forming a subcommittee, and I can also make a post about it too.
Yep,
So,
and I have Susie's information if you need it. She was at the meeting asking about it, and I believe there was one other person.
yeah,
So I mean, there are a few interested in it, and I think to get them together, to explore that possibility again, because we have to look at this, as a pitchfork. I mean, we
Yeah.
can't have one avenue.
no, and I the one thing I just want to avoid is, like, I don't want to just give or like back just a local company's ability to try to like get that contract just because, like, without knowing.
No,
Yeah,
yep, no,
yeah.
no. I'm thinking just more of the possibilities and feasibility of
Yeah.
that option.
Yeah, no, I'm totally comfortable with that. So if people want to make a subcommittee, I can make a post on the
Yeah.
Facebook and the email listing,
Or
and we
proximate
can work from there.
ChatGPT.
So,
That would be
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, that could if they could consolidate some of the information so that we aren't just pot shooting at it.
Again, and again, I'm just not to do anything but collect information.
Yeah.
We are coming up with a plan. You can't have a plan without information.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, no, that's a great it's a great call. Let's do that. I'll put a post about that stuff most likely tomorrow. And we can go from there. Dredging info. Cool. But things that we can potentially do that are like very well known and successful things is, shoreline up, like shoreline shoring up shorelines and focusing on shorelines, simply like picking up the garbage that's in these exposed areas. It's impactful. It's a big deal. A lot of these areas might not be, because we're lowering it, Lou, about 8 feet this year or 5 feet this year for them to inspect.
Yeah, not quite 8 feet, but it's going to be lower than normal. So normal is 4 feet roughly. So it'll be a little bit more, maybe 5, maybe 6, depending as long as they can get a view of what it looks like near the dam area.
Yeah. And so, that's definitely one thing that we can do when that happens, is that everybody who does live on the shoreline can simply just take a look at their shoreline and, go out there with some muck boots on or something and just try to pick up some garbage that's out there. We have a network of people who are potentially willing to, like, help each other and, come if it's a bigger piece of equipment that you see exposed, getting some help pulling it out, even bringing it to the dumps and stuff like that. Last year, Justin was really great at organizing our first cleanup, and did talk to the town, the municipal, transfer stations, and I think was able to get some of that stuff that you could drop it off for free, I believe. I don't want to misspeak, but I believe I remember that.
That would be awesome. And actually, Justin, we had talked last fall when you were doing it, and I was going to ask you for some help. I don't know if you remember or not, but there was a metal tank on the shore.
Yeah, I think right by
we had talked briefly about it. But anyway, so, funny, in the course of a year, I know what that metal tank is now. It's the old metal 250 or 275 gallon tight tank until you drill holes in it or shoot holes in it. From the second version of their disposal process, and I found the 55 gallon drums from the first installation, because they were just steel 55 gallon drums that, again, you just shot it with a shotgun so it leached in the woods. So yeah, if we can have some sort of help with disposal of antiquated disposal systems, I guess.
Are they holding tanks you're talking about, Gary?
Well, and it's tough to define, Donna, because a holding tank would mean it held product. It's more of a collection point where solids would stay, but liquids pass through.
Okay, so they're tanks full of shit.
One step above a cesspool.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
That would be great. Yeah, that would be great if we could get some help, and that would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, definitely seeing what can be done, and there's also, I know, programs and best practices for even planting natural vegetation on your shoreline that can help shore up, to prevent phosphorus and nutrient-rich soil from washing in to the pond. So that's definitely something to focus on too. And I just want to answer a couple of questions in the chat. Lou had asked, what is the process of setting up our watershed plan? So we had an existing watershed plan, but in order for us to apply for grant funding, not we as in our association, but we as in the pond itself, did have one, but it's over 10 years old. So if the plan is over 10 years old, the plan needs to be redone, and that you go about that by doing what they call the 604, the 604B grant, which is a grant process through the state of Maine and the DEP, I believe, that essentially we apply, we get awarded the grant to hire a company to conduct a watershed plan in conjunction with us as a partner, and then we have that plan. That plan is built, and then we use that plan to then apply for the 319 grant, which is the big money grant, but it also requires matching funds on the 319, and then that is to enact the plan itself. So 2 grant processes, one to create a watershed plan, the 604B, and then one to enact the plan, which is the 319 grant process. So all in all, those take quite a few years to get through those processes and do those things, and that wouldn't necessarily be the end either. There's a lot of talk about alum treatments, but alum treatments are also, they have a great potential to stop algae blooms, but they are only band-aids. They don't technically do anything to stop what's coming in, or they just simply stop the chemicals from releasing, the phosphorus from releasing, and which helps prevent algae blooms. So it's still, even if we did do a alum treatment and spent over $1 million on it, we would then have to refocus on having that that section of time for how long it would last. We would then be like, okay, now that we have a pause on this, we can focus on all of these things. So that's the benefit of an alum treatment. I mean, unless anybody can keep coming up with the $1 million each time, but that might be a tall order, and it is not a sustainable solution. So but yeah, that's how the grant process works. And then Georgia had
Well,
asked,
to
yeah.
finish with Lou's question, how is that happening? How is this watershed plan? Who's working on it?
So I would work on it with the Androscoggin County Valley and Conservation, or Soil and Valley Conservation
Okay,
District.
so that's something that's in process, you'd say? That you
Yeah.
started doing that? Okay, does
Yep.
that answer your
Okay.
question, Lou?
Yep.
I've compiled, information over the last year that we can use to then apply for that grant. The people from the Androscoggin County Soil and Water Conservation District, they came and spoke with us about it last fall. There was talks about us potentially trying to apply for it. At the end of, I think that the registration closed in April of last year. But we are, I think, in a much better place now. We can certainly do this grant process, I think, this year and make that application deadline. So that's the goal. That is the goal now. And then once we have that plan and then we have the funds released, it then goes into hiring a company and works with the Androscoggin County Valley Soil and Water Conservation District, us, and this company that's hired to do the watershed plan. And then once we have that, apply to the 319. So yeah.
And his other question was about dates.
Dates. Oh yeah, George's question was about dates. When the initial lake dates are on the initial lowering of the lake, when it will be lowered and when it will be back up again. So Lou, you responded. I can read it. You can say it, whatever you want to do.
Well, what I heard, and I'll find out for sure tomorrow at the Dam Commission meeting, was that they're gonna wait till October 1st. Now I'm looking at the calendar, that's a Tuesday. But there was a reason for that. They were gonna do it on the 28th and then something. So it's in that area. If it's not the 28th, it'll be the 30th or the 1st. So you get all this month and then it starts.
Lou, do you have any idea how long, I asked because I was curious how long we might have to kind of do an initial cleanup of shoreline, and then once it's lowered, actual work is going on, we can take another pass.
You want me to jump in, Lou?
Yeah.
Okay, so so just to be clear, so as far as the Dam Commission was concerned, we wanted to do it on Saturday, the 28th, just because we all work. The contractor that's working with the DMR downriver on other projects, removing other dams, requested, their permit is good until October 1st, and they requested that we not open the dam until October 1st, so we're going to comply with that. Yes, it's a Tuesday, but whatever, we'll open the dam on Tuesday. And then it's going to stay down. Right now, we're hoping, and again, this depends on, how much it rains, how quickly the lake goes down. We're about 4 inches below full lake right now anyways, so it should drain pretty quickly, and we don't have much rain in the forecast. So right now, thinking that it's going to be drained until probably around Thanksgiving. That'll give enough time that our engineers can see the bottom structure of the dam, the contractors can see that, so we can get a better bid. And then as soon as that process is over, we'll bring it back to normal lake level. So it's around Thanksgiving right now is what we're thinking is when we'll close the dam.
Awesome. Thanks, Gary.
Yep.
And for everybody that doesn't know, Gary is also a board member on the Dam Commission as well for Wales, correct, Gary? Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. With Lou. Yeah.
Lou's from Green.
Yeah. Awesome. Let's see. I had a couple other things we want to talk about. And Gary, I know you had emailed me a couple times. I just responded today, but you are looking for you want to start. You want to talk about the committee that started that we had talked about at our annual meeting, and you're looking for another member from Green to join, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's fine. So yes, I'm looking for that one more member from Green. So 2 people from Sabattus, or I'm sorry, 2 people from Wales, 2 people from Green. They're basically going to, collect data on the roughly 180 septic systems in Green and Wales. and going as a census and going to categorize them probably in 5 different classes. You know, class 1 would be something installed within the last 20 years that we know is a septic system. Class 2 would be something 20 to 40 years old that needs work. Class 3 would be a concrete or metal type tank, and class 4 would be a stone cesspool. Class 5 would be unknown. And I think once we have that information, it's going to be interesting that probably those 180 properties, we're going to find probably a third need, you know, drastic replacement, you know, to cure or to rectify the issues that are going on. And in my estimation, you know, going actually from what Leslie and Justin had talked about at their house, 15, 20 grand a property, that's $1.2 million.
Yeah.
To me, I'm thinking more about once we collect that data, once we have that information, that again, we can go to the Interscog and Soil and Water Commission, we can go to the DEP, we can go to the whatever other agencies and try and get leniency on permitting, leniency on pricing, leniency on restrictions to control what goes into the lake. People keep on wanting to drain the lake thinking that it'll solve the problem. I last weekend was with someone that showed me the pictures from the late 90s and early 2000s when the lake was down 8 feet. And we'll see it this year, we'll see it next year. The water from the river still needs to get to the lake. So instead of it just flowing naturally through water, it's going to scour the lake bottom and leave a 5 to 8 foot trench of things that people did many years ago we don't want to see.
Yeah.
So thank you. Yep. Thank you for allowing the subcommittee. We have probably a year or two's worth of work just in collecting data. But I think that with you know, this,
Yeah, Gary, you're lagging a little bit for us hearing you.
Forward with a multi-pronged approach, not disregarding anything.
Yeah.
Is that any better or not?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Well, is there a goal that once you collect this data, and if there are people that do have issues with their septic, are we hoping to provide some grant money to help them?
Yep.
That's the idea?
Can you hear me or not?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Yes. So yes, provide grant money, and have. It'll take a while to completely formulate a plan, but if grant money isn't available, I would think that probably for the number we're talking about, private financing might be available, where a property could be updated and then the cost of that replenished when the property is sold at some point. So yeah, grant money would be great, but even if it's not grant money, the dollars we're talking about are less than one of
there it goes again.
other solutions.
Yeah.
I'm on my back.
Yeah, you're back. Lou did ask a
All right,
question.
I'm out on the boat, so it's spotty.
Yeah. Lou asked a question about how you would get the information on the septic systems. And I think at the meeting we had talked about, or you had talked about, like just public records, like nothing that's like private, nothing that's private information, nothing like that.
Right. Yep.
And this isn't information that we're going to be sharing with anybody else, the actual specifics of this information. Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. If it's public information, it is public information, and this is just information gathering committee, and so we can
and actually, and with that, and talking with some neighbors and other people on the lake, it also will be informational. At some point we're going to have to put out a packet or something saying, hey, do you know what goes down your drain and where it goes? So there is going to be, it's going to be informational as well as informative.
So like as an educational component to it to try to change some.
Yeah. I imagine, a year or two from now, we're going to send out a packet to everyone that's got a septic system on the lake and say, put this down your drain. If you see the lake turn yellow or green, whatever the dye packet is, But yes, I can see an informational campaign, wondering why you put tablets in your toilet, bleach tablets that end up in the lake, alternatives, informational, you can use a non-phosphorus boat cleaner instead of Clorox Plus.
Yeah.
We need to think about what goes down the drain because it goes into the lake. And if people don't want to talk about that, that's fine. But that needs to be done.
Yeah. So definitely sounds like a lot of work, but looking forward to seeing what happens. Leslie, Justin? Yeah. Justin, hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I think that that's a really good point by Gary that he brought up as far as like informational, because I know that we've all seen the commercials that, oh, sorry, Olive wants to say hi. Oh, now she's running away. We've all seen the informational commercials, right? In the cities, they have the storm drains with the little rubber duckies, right? Like, be careful what you dump here because this all flows to the ocean.
Yeah.
And we are part of a larger ecosystem, but we're focused on specifically the lake. And there already are public education campaigns out there for that. But I think to do it to the lake, that's a great idea. And I think those are really good. Yeah, and people don't know. Yep.
Right.
So I think that's a great idea, Gary. Thank you.
Yeah.
There are a lot of systems that you mentioned the cost, an estimated cost to do it, but there's a lot of systems, I'm sure, that they wouldn't have enough space to put a leach field and a septic tank. They would probably end up using a holding tank.
Oh yeah, no, and again, yeah, and I don't. If you want to get into specifics, we can, but I think that's for a future date. But an engineered system, I have one of my properties is a completely acceptable, solution. If I think ideally it would be, if you have a metal or a concrete or a stone holding tank that just your water just goes out of. I mean, you can run an airline to that, put a honeycomb system in it, and put a bag of enzymes in it, and it becomes an engineered biological septic system. And as long as you don't pour Clorox bleach down the drain every day, it'll live and be fine. There are so many solutions. I think the important part is to start a conversation because this is like cancer. No one wants to talk about it, but guess what? It's there. It's the elephant, as I said at the beginning, it's the elephant in the room, in my mind. And again, thank you for letting me start this little subcommittee, and other people do other things, pursue, all options.
Coming down.
I'm going to race to the finish. I want clean water in the lake. If we find it one way, that's fine. If we find it another way, that's great.
Oh.
Absolutely. Okay.
I think it's anecdotal, but it had ramification for me, Gary, when you said that you found a septic system on a piece of property that you bought, and that when you looked into it, it was it's way substandard and was not adding to the quality of the lake whatsoever. And you actually saw this with your own eyes that it was bad. And so that could be.
It was 100 years bad. The first property was built in 1923. It was 100 years bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Getting a phone call from Catherine.
What? Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, I appreciate the hard work, Gary, in putting this together. When you I can make a post too about you needing another member from Green, and whenever you do.
I don't think we have to. This is informational. I don't, I mean.
Okay.
Nope. I have someone in mind, but yeah, no, I don't. Yep. I don't see any reason, besides the people that are in the association to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're just collecting information.
Okay, perfect. That's great. Do you how many people on your committee? 3 currently?
Including me, there's 3, and yeah, I'm thinking one more, but there might be, yeah, we said 5, but there's at least gonna be one more from Green. So there's, so I like 2 from Green, 2 from Wales. So I think 4 is gonna be where it ends. That way, because we don't have to talk to anyone in Sabattus. We know where their shit goes. Into the sewer.
Yeah, that's true. It is a combined sewer system though, so when it rains hard, it goes somewhere else. But all right, awesome. That is great. And can't wait to see that. Whenever you guys meet, maybe we could potentially even get a board member to come on that committee as well, or to stop in, or even I can stop in at the committee if you do it sometime in the evening or whatever. But just let us know when you guys plan on meeting, and I'm sure we'll ask you for updates or a little blurb before our once a month on our meetings or something like that. So sounds great. I'm excited. I'm excited about the other committees that are potentially being started too. And it's great. And let's see. So I talked about me attending 2 different webinars. Yeah, the first one is for the alum treatment. That one is with the state. That one's on the 20. Hold on. This is why I write things down. That one is on the 24th from 1 to 2:30. If anybody is interested in joining that too, just for their own information, they're more than welcome to. It's free. All you'd have to do is just email Linda Bacon, and I can give you the email in the chat right now. And
Oh, actually, Nick, could you post that article about the restoration on the river, just in case people want to go to that meeting next Wednesday night?
Yes, actually, next Wednesday.
What is that?
So there was a really good article. Lou had sent it to us in the Sun Journal about all of the restoration that's being done on the river. And they're having a meeting next, September 18th. Yeah, September 18th. At Sabattus Town Hall, it's, I believe, 6:30. But if Nick could post it. But it was a really good article explaining, why things are happening the way they are. In the river and with the dam and everything. It's a really, really good article. And I think, it would be good for, people that are interested to go to that meeting.
Where was the article? Sorry.
In the Sun Journal, I think it was Sunday.
Yeah, I think, I thought I sent it to you the other day, Nick, didn't I?
Let's see.
Because I said if people want to go to the meeting.
So yeah, I see the thing that says hopefully it will be a good meeting on the 18th, and
Correct.
I did not
Above
see
that,
anything. Oh,
above that should be the link from Lou. If not, send me a reminder and I'll send. Oh, actually, I'll do it now.
Oh, from Linda's Hudson.
Yeah, Landis Hudson.
Yeah, okay, I do have it. I will post this. Yeah.
But yeah, no, if you read that, very, very, she did a really good job.
That's excellent. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. No. Yep.
No, I
do
mean
see
it explains the entire process from the ocean to the sleeper dam. That's really interesting.
Yeah, phenomenal. When was this written? Sunday?
Yeah, last week.
Yeah. Wow.
Sunday.
Okay, that's excellent. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I haven't seen this much stuff about Sabattus Pond or ponds in general in a long time in Maine. So I mean, I think that's a good sign too. Awesome, great. And then the other meeting that I'm going to be attending is on the 17th, and that is with the Lake Stewards of Maine. It's their annual update, and that's going to be with their executive board. It's just a little seminar. But if anybody wants to participate in that, just let me know and I can send them information out too. So, and I'll make a post about it and send it out because it's good information to have. It's just a simple registry.
And actually, excuse me again, but I don't have it, Donna. Can you send, I had sent Nick the link for Mara.
Yeah.
Can you send him the information on how to join if we wanted to?
Yes.
Stay on at the end.
Mara is the main alliance of road associations.
Yeah.
Which again, being on a private lake or on a lake with a lot of private roads, I think it would be good to connect with them.
Yeah.
Hey Nick,
yeah.
Did you get that email that I sent you last week for that letter that I put out for the road association that we're on?
Let me check. And
Because I've noticed over the past week or 10 days, we picked up 7 more members. I'd like to think some of it came from that letter that went out, the road association letter. Maybe not, but
I mean,
I think so.
What did you do, Ken?
Yeah.
I wrote up a basic letter stating what we've been doing and progress that we've made and that type of thing. And I had the guy across the street from us is the head of our road association, and he included it with the annual letter.
And how many people are on
We
that
got
road?
46 houses.
No, I do have that. Absolutely.
We got
I do
46
see that,
houses.
Ken.
Anybody that's welcome to use that as a template. If you want to do something with your road associations.
Can you send that to us? Because our meeting, we only have 32 residents, but our meeting is on end of September.
I'll forward it to you right now, Gary.
Yeah, Gary, we're pretty well represented.
Speaking of that, representation and membership, I think we mentioned it. I think Leslie made up a sign at the meeting of where to send your check.
Yes.
I think a QR code on your Facebook page taking you to how to send in payment would be great. Either that,
Patrick Gaffney wanted us to do that. Remember, he was at the meeting, Patrick Gaffney?
Yeah.
And he said that the younger generation doesn't want to write out old-fashioned checks.
No, exactly. No, well, I'm not talking about old-fashioned checks. I'm talking about, since the meeting, I probably talked to 5 people to say, who do I send the check to?
Absolutely. Our address, I believe,
just
is
something.
listed,
If it's not that, something in an email just saying to join the association, send your payment to.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't start until next year, I would venture to guess. Again, we're 32 homes at a road association meeting. 15 or 20 of them would just join if they knew where to send their check.
Yeah, that's a good point. I can.
Venmo or PayPal.
Yeah, I mean, Venmo is something that we're working on trying to
We-
establish. Yeah.
An address on the Facebook page, just something so we know.
Yep. And I know I can it's been posted on there before, but something that's easily accessible for sure. And I would be
wrong, but yes.
Yeah, I would just promote just donations in general right now until the fiscal year starts in just January, just so we have like administratively. It just covers from January to December. Nobody has to really think about it. Like we don't have to do any math of when somebody joins, essentially. But yes, yeah. So let's. I do have. Wow, everybody posts a lot of pictures, which is great. So. Yeah. Nope, that's not it.
Right, and again, to me, it's an opportune time to collect.
Yeah. Yep. Awesome. Cool. That can definitely be done. And if anybody is interested in getting admin access on the Facebook page to help post stuff too, that is definitely something that would be more than welcome. So we can definitely do those things as well.
Other thing too, Nick, I was on the road listening to most of the meeting, but
yeah.
If you form a subcommittee to do something with the dredging and that type of thing with Shaw Brothers, the owner of Shaw Brothers lives right down the street from me.
Okay.
And their main office is only 6 or 8 miles away, so I could definitely be interested in that subcommittee.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Nope. I'll make a post about that to get members for that. Somebody will have to head it up, Ken, if you're interested. So.
Well, like I say, he lives right down the street, and I got a good friend of mine that's good friends with him.
Oh, are you
So
talking about having the business owner himself head up the dredging committee?
Well, I don't know if he's the one I need to talk to.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
a good friend of mine is good friends with Danny Shaw, and I can pick his brain as far as how to approach him.
Yeah, certainly for informational gathering. I mean, 100%. Somebody's going to have to talk to him and get the information of what he is thinking, how he was thinking he would do it,
Right.
what the impacts would be. So
either him or somebody in his business, in his company.
Yeah.
That's what I need. First thing I need to find out is who the contact would be.
Yeah. Yep.
But like I say, he lives right down the street from me.
So
well, and Pete Rich is the guy has been in touch with him too.
Oh,
Pete Rich is he's on our road.
Yeah.
Gary, you know about them.
Oh, I do. That's why I said Pete Rich and Susie Galani committee.
But yeah, no, our membership has even grown since our annual meeting. So and Ken, that's certainly a great point. We keep growing as more information keeps going out. I do, if you, so I do have an initial, if you try to initially comment, and this is because, Wayne, I know the situation that, you know, the situation that I'm about to talk about. So last year when we started the Facebook, we were inundated by a few bots that posted some not very appropriate things.
Yes.
So yeah, I instituted a policy that whenever you join, your first comment or like, I have to approve the access. So that's why sometimes if you're a new member, your post doesn't immediately show up or your comment doesn't immediately show up. That's because it's put into a queue for me to review to make sure you're not a robot or a bot or somebody that simply might want to post some new things. There's a few things that I look for. I'll keep that to myself. I feel like I am pretty tech savvy and I feel like I'm pretty good at spotting the bots. But if you are a real person and I have rejected you, please do not take that personally. You can always email me or just message me on Facebook too and say, hey, I am a real person. I did this. Usually if people's Facebooks are newly made, if they don't have any posts or have joined like 99 different groups on Facebook, that's usually a sign, because those people that are bots, they typically join as many groups as they possibly can to post the, hey, I do HVAC work. I mean, you
Yeah.
see that all the time, you know, hey, I do cleaning services. And then those are all bots. Those are all bots. Most
I sell sweatshirts.
I sell sweatshirts. I mean, I've heard somebody actually did get their sweatshirt and that's the case, but I doubt that they're a local and I doubt that it's somebody that is, you know,
Yep.
living on the lake. So just things to keep in mind. But I do review them, and so if you are rejected that first time, I apologize. It's nothing personal. Just shoot me a quick message. My phone number is available, my email is available, and just say, hey, I am a real person. Can you approve me joining the group? And then once you're approved, you don't have to do anything. I'm not about the monitoring. People have posted things on here, you know, against the dam repair and things like that. You know, I let those things just fly. People should be able to post what they're thinking about. And people should also be able to respond back to what people are thinking about too. So,
Well, for what it's worth, Nick, the guy across the road from us for the road association said most of the people that he talked to were more interested about what was going on with the dam and the lake than they were about the road.
oh,
So it's a good sign that there's interest out there. People just don't know where to get the information.
yeah. And we are still working on the website too. So that should be, that's still in process. So like I've talked about before, having a good central location to have all of this information, have all of these documents. Like at this point, I think between, you know, Georgia, Justin, and I and other people, we have like, you know, hundreds of documents, hundreds of pages of documents of the history of this pond, the process that it's been through, the people who have worked on it in the past, you know, news articles. All of that stuff is very important, and it informs our decision making today. So,
Hey, question: Does anyone have a contact at Bates Library?
I have a contact at Bates College.
I was told the other day that Bates Library has like 5 boxes of history on the lake.
That would be interesting to see.
Yep.
I know that this past year I think this summer concludes their research on the pond. Their research grant that they had from the National Science Foundation. So that may be something they're willing to copy or part with. So yeah.
If you know,
I think he's saying it's a
if
library.
you know someone that, yeah, if you could just reach out and just say, hey, you know, can you get a copy of your, you know, documentation on the lake? That would be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But that's, yes, you're talking about the library, Gary, right? Not necessarily the
Correct.
research grant.
No, not
Yeah.
the research.
No, but
of the
I'm sure that
library.
they've
Similar-
used that
yep.
information. If they,
I wouldn't be so sure.
well, I would like to think so, but maybe
Yeah.
not. Yeah. But yeah, we do have contacts at Bates College, and we can reach out to them and see what there is. And can you go into Bates Library if you're a resident of Lewiston? I don't know.
I have no idea.
I know some universities allow that, but I don't know if Bates does. But
Now, Gary,
okay.
did you get information from Leon Rio? Is that your source?
Donna.
He was a member of the former SPWP and he was very knowledgeable. Was he helpful? Okay.
Okay.
Leslie, you might remember Leon.
I wish I did. If I could
No, I
see
meant
his.
Leslie Coburn.
Oh, I'm like, I don't, okay, that makes
Okay.
sense.
Yeah, he was on the original board. He has a lot of history here on the lake.
Good to know.
Well, he's got the mahogany boat, if any of you have ever seen that. It's really beautiful.
I don't know Jack.
No, this side.
I know the boat.
Yeah.
Have we heard any more from Noah, or is it still October-ish?
Yeah, Lou, Gary.
Till October. Still waiting on a signature.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's still good to hear, but,
I did talk to the DOT the other day, and they're gonna start Sawyer Road in October.
good. Yeah. How long has that
Oh,
been since
wow.
spring?
Oh, yes.
Is it still one lane or is it,
Yeah.
did they
Oh,
close it
yeah.
up? Yeah, it's still
No,
one
one
lane.
lane.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a
Very,
sign. that
very,
says-
very similar to all their problems. The inlet is smaller than the outlet.
What were you
Wayne,
saying,
I
Lou?
saw a sign that said starting on the 23rd of September.
Really? I just
Yep.
talked to the guy.
Yep.
Wow. He
That's
said they
quick.
do further up the road, and then they were gonna start this one.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Awesome. That's good to hear that it's going to be worked on. And,
Wait. See it.
sorry, would you say, Wayne?
Either way, I won't be here to watch it.
Oh, yeah. Well, you guys must be leaving in the next month or so, right? Yeah.
September 22nd.
Oh, okay. Coming right up.
Wayne, it's the end of the meeting, Wayne. If you could stay on for a couple of minutes, I got a question for you.
Sure.
Yeah. So that is all I have for today. I hope Gary or Lou, if you don't mind, just send a quick update for tomorrow. If we don't have, I think we are going to try to get a member there. And of course, you both are active in our communities too. But that would be good. The next meeting time, let's see. I will be. Hold on, let me check my work calendar. Most likely it would be the 2 weeks away would be the 18th, but
The 18th is the night of the meeting. It's Sabattus about the river.
that's true. And I don't want to do it that day.
If you want to stay with the 2nd and the 4th, just go to the 4th. Skip the 2nd because that's next week.
Yeah, the 25th. I will post the next meeting date online for everybody that's watching after the fact, but 1 second. So I just wanted to shut off this real quick, but thanks for joining.